To answer the question, if we were sane, we would just pack up and go home at this point.
Obviously, none of us have that high a sanity.
Santa what?
Speak for yourself.
Santa what? We don't have enough sanity for self-preservation.
I'm still at 54.
I'm at 56.
Well, see, double digits. You're all good.
Yeah, more sane than not. Although I have to kind of question sometimes.
All right, so this is session 28 of Nyarlathotep. So we've been playing this now mostly weekly for 6-ish months.
Since November 2nd.
Oh, there you go. So yes, you guys are currently in Shanghai. You have made contact with Jack Brady, a very wanted man, or more accurately, a scroll he is in the possession of is wanted by several individuals. The scroll, he has a friend translating. It'll be finished translating in 6 days, or 5 days now. And he believes that it will provide much needed information as to how to stop what is happening. According to his firsthand knowledge, the members of the Carlisle expedition are, as far as he knows, all of them are still alive. And they are trying to bring about the manifestation of their god. Anecdotal stories of the last time something like this was attempted, not successful, but attempted, a massive earthquake happened that killed 800,000 people. So what sort of destruction will happen if they are successful is beyond comprehension.
Total destruction.
Quite possibly. Having weighed various options in dealing with one of the individuals after the scroll, a gentleman named Ho Fang, you've contemplated several ideas. He currently has Jack's girlfriend and is planning to use her as leverage to get Mr. Brady to hand over the scroll. Jack is hell-bent on getting her, but he's willing to entertain other ideas as long as she is not endangered. So giving some time to rest and relax, you guys returned to your hotel. You know that somebody has previously sent a monstrosity to try to destroy you. And Dr. Carter kept it at bay one night with a magical barrier. This night, however, he got the barrier up, suffered a break with reality, fled in panic, and was not inside the barrier when the creature showed up and attacked. Unfortunately, Evelyn was seemingly possessed by dark forces, capable of wielding magic effortlessly. And she brought down the barrier, allowing the creature to try to get to you by going from the top of the hotel down to the ground floor where your rooms were, destroying much property and individuals in the process. Thankfully, Dr. Carter came to his senses long enough to grab his shotgun and put an end to the creature. But it is nighttime. Everybody is kind of shell-shocked. There are people that have run screaming from the hotel. And Evelyn, I believe, has kind of come to her senses. And that's where we left off last time. So we'll turn it over to you guys.
Let's be specific. It was a lucky shot, right? We can't expect a shotgun to kill these things and not easily.
It was an extremely lucky shot.
I'm not gonna take the merit for killing those things easily, in any way, shape, or form. I'm fully convinced that I was lucky on that.
But
I'll put my last couple of notes in the Discord.
but yes, it is Sunday, April 5th. It is like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we'll pick up with you guys.
So yes, Dr. Carter was packing.
Yeah.
Alvin brought me back inside. Evelyn admits she had heard a voice before when she was in the painting and had offered to bring her back. And tonight it just said, it's time.
So what does its time mean? Do you know?
I'm sorry. Can you say again, Miles? I didn't quite get that.
I was asking Evelyn if she knows what its time means or references.
I think it intended to be around longer than it was. I think it planned to do more than it had the opportunity to do. It thought it would have more time.
But you're not consciously aware of what its plans were and such.
No. Just that it's gone now.
It's gone now, or it's gone for now?
I know it's gone. I don't know. I don't know if it can come back. I don't know if it has set anything else in motion. I don't know.
Chris, in all her craziness, when she brought down the magical shell and her eyes went black and she was horribly scary, did it seem like whatever that was acting in her stead was completely acting in her stead, or was using her knowledge as well? Like, was that at all gleanable?
No, you do know that it was powerful enough to bring down the magical barrier and started to summon some sort of tentacled beastie without any effort. Like you've seen Salvatore do magic, and you've seen the professor do magic, and it seems to take a fair bit out of them. And this was just like breathing to whatever that was.
What I was leaning on for is like, and I don't know if it matters, but and I'll ask this question to the group. Does it know everything that Evelyn knows now that it was in her head?
I don't know if it was in my head or if it was just using me as a conduit.
Okay, let's get out of this ruined hotel and find some place to stay, and we can have this discussion. And on the way there, can one of you really smart people tell me, if we killed it, does that mean it's not going to come back tonight?
I would hope not. I imagine that once it's summoned, if it's killed, then it would need to be summoned again to come back. That would make sense to me.
What we know,
But
we
I
need to
understand.
from what we know, we need to kill someone every night to call it back.
But can someone just kill another person and summon it back like in an hour?
I'm not sure he's gonna know that his beast failed. Don't think he has a way of knowing that the beast failed. As long as we're not seen, he has no reason of sending another. It's not very comforting, but it's the best I have.
Who do we think sent it?
Oh, this is
It's Hofang.
Ofang, yeah. The best way to stop this is to stop Ofang. He's just a man. We keep doing this, we won't hold up.
So let's find a place to stay for the night.
It's not hard to find a hotel. There's plenty in the area. Most of them are fairly busy as people are like fleeing the destruction of the hotel you were at. And it doesn't take long for law enforcement to be on the scene. Starting to question people, but it's so chaotic that it's easy enough to slip away if you don't want to deal with the authorities.
Chris, we've lost our translator during all this, right?
He wasn't there. He was at home. He was conveniently not around to see any of the crazy.
Does anyone have anything to do tonight? Or can we pass out and actually sleep? Or try to after that horrifying event?
Finding new accommodations is a priority, but I don't have any personal agenda.
Well, at least we proved tonight that this thing can be killed. That's a start, but I would still keep a watch.
I would appreciate that. Sorry.
Let's find a place to sleep. And we can take turns sleeping.
Alrighty. So yeah, you find a place probably not as nice as the place you're at, but 4 walls and a roof. Don't ask too many questions. We'll say it's probably fairly deep into the international settlement part of Shanghai. So a fair distance from where you were. You probably don't want something super close to where you already were. And you guys can set up your watches and pass out. Your dreams, despite everything that happened, your dreams are oddly peaceful. Like all of you would expect that after a traumatic event, such as this, that you would have trouble sleeping, and what sleep you did get, your dreams would be like replaying that monstrous entity over and over, or the tentacles coming out of the darkness in the wall. There's none of that. It's whatever your most kind of pleasant dream is the one that you have on this particular night.
Huh.
And despite everything that happened, when you awake, you feel rested.
I haven't slept like that in months. I guess knowing that those things can be killed put my mind at ease.
Last time I slept that good, we dealt a blow against the cult in New York. Remember that thing that watched us sleep? The cow skull headed thing?
Oh.
That was the night I slept so very well. It was there.
So strange.
That thing served not sure exactly what it is, but it's, from what I've read, an enemy of our enemy. Apparently, when it's there, our sleep goes unperturbed.
Unperturbed.
Yeah.
Unperturbed? Undisturbed?
Undisturbed. You know what I mean. Sometimes English is hard. But figure she must be pleased with the fact that we dealt a blow to that creature. I haven't seen anything like that tonight, but every time I have this specific dream, it has been that.
I guess God's happy that we killed something terrible.
Yep.
Well,
We had
everyone's happy that we killed something terrible, at least.
Like, I can't swear that it's on our side, but it's not against us. Apparently, when we strike a blow against the terrible crawling chaos, it gives us a hand.
When did we start calling it the Crawling Chaos?
It's one of the many names. I just picked one at random. They all have a name for it.
I hate it. It's perfect.
I think it stuck with me because the text where I learned about the thing that watched over our sleep, they talked about its master and the fact that it was an enemy of the crawling chaos. So crawling chaos stuck as the thing that thing hates. And one of the things we found in the in New York was an object that's supposed to protect you against those things that protects our dreams.
I'm sorry, can you rephrase that again? We found the thing that's supposed to protect us against the thing that's supposed to protect us against the thing.
Okay, sorry about this. The lady who aids the crawling chaos, she has servants. We're right?
Mm-hmm.
And the cultists in New York had a thing to protect themselves against those servants.
So the
AKA,
enemy of my enemy is my friend.
the enemy of my enemy is useful, I guess.
The enemy of my enemy is not my enemy.
Exactly. But the thing is, if those cultists are willing to create magic things to protect themselves against those things can be a problem for them. Maybe there's a way of enlisting their help in a way to do to them what they're doing to us right now.
I'm sorry, are you saying that we should use sorcery to attack and haunt our enemies?
Well, if I knew how, I would, but I don't. But I'm saying that if I knew how, I would. Because he needs to stop. If we spend another night like this, I don't know how many nights we can survive and how many hotel we can destroy before it gets us.
Well,
But as we
Whenever,
must,
when Evelyn
so,
starts talking, Alvin will look at her kind of like assessingly.
when she notices, she stops speaking and just sort of sinks back into her chair and hides a little bit behind her cup of tea.
Dr. Carter's eyes is a bit glazed over and does not notice the social interaction at all.
People are hard.
Okay, people are hard. I'm not good with that. But I'd much rather just put a stop to Lo Feng in a physical matter that I'm more sure it would work and I have more control over.
You mean shotgun?
That's something I have more control over. But I'd be more comfortable with a rifle, if you have to know.
Evelyn, what do I do next time?
What do you do next time? What? You'll have
Next
to be
time,
more specific.
next time your eyes go black and you try to kill us all.
I wasn't trying to kill anyone.
Next time your body's eyes go black and tries to kill us all.
I don't know, but I would appreciate not being shot. I think that whatever debt it thought I owed it, has been paid. I don't think it can come back unless there's another bargain struck.
I'm not an expert in bargains. If someone owed me money and then they took me to the bank so I could get the money, but then I didn't pay them, I would not consider that debt as being paid.
They said they wish they had more time. So they took the time, and it was not as much as they'd hoped it would be, but they still took the time.
It's more like trading for a cup of tea and then realizing the tea wasn't as good as you thought it would be. It had its chance.
So Evelyn, if this comes up again, anything short of shooting you, is that the agreement we have here?
That depends. What other things are you considering? And I'd rather not be pushed off a bridge, if that's what you're asking. Or off the roof.
I implied that you want to live, is the implication.
I would prefer to, yes. I've put a rather lot of effort into it so far, and I would like to continue. I've been through too much, and I'm not just going to give up.
Just one last question, Evelyn. If you wake up and you find out you have killed someone, would you rather I have shot you before that happened?
That's quite enough for now, Mr. Sharp.
What are the next things that we're going to do? I mean, we woke up. There's still an attack on Hofang that's being planned.
Yeah, the problem with that is that he's planning to attack when Ofang is not there. So that's not a way to stop Ofang. Just a way to make him mad.
Well, his goal isn't to stop Hofang. His goal is to save his girlfriend.
Yep. I won't stop Ofang from sending more of those things to get her and us. And him.
He's single-minded on this task, though, so...
He has killed at least 3 people so far. Just for that.
Who, Hofang?
Ofang, yeah. There's been 2 attacks on us on 2 different nights, so 2 different sacrifice. And one against the Flower Girl's house where they were hidden. So at minimum 3. But we know also the monk place that got on fire and the bar that got attacked by fish people. I assume similar kind of sacrifice for that. So he's not gonna stop.
To a man like Hofang, life is cheap.
Yes. Well, anyone's life except his own. And even then, if his god wanted it, he might hand it over as well. Suppose it depends on how devoted he is.
Can we either try to swindle him and convince him to give us more time? Or we need to stop him.
So everyone has a plan except for us, is what you're saying.
The problem with swindling him is that no one of us is convincing enough.
Well, we started spitballing ideas like approaching that Japanese captain and or otherwise trying to create a distraction that allow us to sneak in. Those were the 2 contingencies that we at least started to allude to.
Yeah, the Japanese man we have a rendezvous with at 10, and no matter how it goes, at 11, Jack is doing something. So we need to assess option before we get to that point. We want to do something about Ofang before he gets to work. If we want to do something to try to convince him to give us more time, we don't have much time left.
Sorry, when is this meeting with Captain Tara?
The barman is supposed to get us a meeting with the Japanese captain at 10 today. And at 11, Jack is waiting us to do the thing. So not much time to turn around.
Not really.
So what's our next step?
Meeting at 10.
Question is, do we have any better plan? Because I'm looking
Well,
for one, and
that was all we
I'm
could
asking.
come up with. That was all we could come up with when we weren't shaken up. I doubt that we'll come up with something better today. Unless we start a riot among the students and the population and try to direct it toward his house, but I don't know how we'd manage that. None of us speak the language.
And all that's going to do is lead to a lot of dead students.
Yes. So, it's a terrible idea.
Why is it everyone always holds the cards on us?
Because we're doing this by the seat of our pants because we got dragged into this against our will, whereas the others have actually been involved in this in one phase or step or another, probably for quite a while.
They're all working on plans that have been ongoing for years. We're trying to discover the plans and stop them.
And having absolutely no morals makes it easier.
Unfortunately, it does seem that way.
They force us to act because we want to protect people. I'm not saying that we should not, but since they don't care about anyone and are willing to sacrifice whoever, makes them complicated to deal with.
And if you've ever seen any kind of religious zealots, they're, well, zealots. A single-minded focus that their entire life is bent toward. With the
Look on the
promise.
positive. I was just going to say, look at the positive, Mr. Sharp. Whatever plans you have had thus far since you got dragged into this world have worked out because you're still here to keep fighting.
That is a positive spin on it. Never thought of it that way.
You have survived 100% of the plans you have concocted thus far in this game.
That is quite the optimistic outlook. I like it.
So let's come up with another plan that makes us live another day.
I think right now that plan is to speak with Captain Taro.
Then let's do that. How do we put the odds in our favor for that? What do we want to achieve? And then let's figure out from there.
Jack said
A
he would speak
distraction.
with him. Jack would said he would speak with him if he helped us get the girl. We can try to play that card.
And he's willing to sell out New China to do so, right?
I don't know if it's selling out New China, but at least
Well,
protect
doesn't the
Japan.
don't the Japanese want the head honchos on New China?
No, they want
Because they're a
information
threat?
on them to. They want information on them to know if Japan needs to be worried about them. I don't think they're hunting them down. They're assessing risk. But that's my interpretation of what they said.
Do we have a plan B or is this plan only?
I think this is the only plan we have.
The only thing else we talked about is convincing Ofang that we could bring him the things if he gives us some time and he keeps her alive.
What are the odds if we tell everything to the Japanese gentleman that he'll help?
I haven't met him or spoke with him at all, so I don't know. Plan C is getting me a line of sight to Ofang.
With a shotgun?
A rifle. We're not surviving another night like yesterday.
Chris, did we send Lee off to go get people to go spy on Ho Feng's address for us?
You did.
Yeah, thing is, he's supposed to meet us at the hotel in the morning, and the hotel is destroyed. So if we want to get him, we should maybe try to catch him somewhere, call him, or I don't know. Because he's going to get to the hotel and be terrorized.
And there are no cell phones back in the day.
Nope.
So who wants to meet up with Lee?
I can go meet with Lee.
And then join us at the bar.
Cool.
So currently, by the time you guys are done discussing this, it's like probably 8:30 in the morning.
Okay, so let's meet with Lee, take a look at those things, and then let's go meet our Japanese military friend contact at the bar. Chris, I think we're moving in that order.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So you finish off your breakfast and head out to try to meet up with Lee. He's not difficult to find. He's near the ruins of the hotel, and there are some police and everything here. But Alvin, it doesn't look like the police are doing much other than keeping like looky-loos away. They certainly don't seem to be investigating anything.
Huh.
Must be
Chris,
a gas
there's nothing.
leak.
Chris, is that it? Is it they think it's an accident or?
It looks like they're just keeping people away. There's no signs of anybody poking around or investigating or anything of that nature. But based
Share
off
that
of,
with the.
based off of like the newspaper articles of the other incidents, Um, like stories will make the paper, but certainly doesn't seem to be the sort of thing that anybody, aside from some crackpots, might believe. So, odds are they will just chalk it up to an accident and be on their way.
Fascinating. I share that with the group. Doesn't look like we're going to get any help from the police.
That's not
I
surprising.
think we assumed the police was paid off by Obang. From my understanding.
I'm still surprised that with such a superstitious culture, they'd be like, yeah, this is just a series of accidents.
Oh, from what I know of similar culture, they fully assume personally that it is something out of the ordinary, but will never be willing to speak out about it. Like they will say they're not superstitious, but they will keep jugs of water near the corner of their house to keep the bad spirit away. They believe they know, but they don't speak about it. We're more civilized than that, but we do know that the things are out there. Kind of deal.
So when you catch up with the Lee, there's a look of like relief on his face.
He's relieved to see us? Man, I thought he would have hoped that we died.
He's relieved that we haven't had an accident, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he's relieved that you didn't die.
Even if we're more trouble than we're worth.
And you do pay him well, so.
I was going to say his meal ticket's still alive, so he's happy for a few more days.
What happened? Were you here?
Oh, yes. Wait, what are people saying that happened?
Depends on who you ask. Many people are saying that it was an old building, perhaps damaged in an earthquake at some point. That support walls just finally gave out. There are some people though that saying that a dragon of smoke and darkness. Depends on who you believe, really.
And what do you believe, Lee?
I believe that something happened to the building, and I am glad I was not in it.
You're a smart man, Lee.
I like to think so. My family is not convinced, but
Speaking of how smart you are, did you manage to find someone to take a look at that address we were talking about?
oh, we did. We found some people to keep an eye. Many of the students have personal reasons for wanting information on Ho Fang. He is the sort of problem that we hope to change. The sort of person with money and power, but doesn't use it to better the lives of anyone other than himself. So the opportunity to gather information for people who may wish to cause harm to him was a compelling argument. His warehouse. He seems to run things in person. He arrived early this morning, around 6 a.m. when the warehouse opens. Yesterday he stayed until 6 p.m. when it closes. There doesn't seem to be any easy way into the building other than the doors. There are windows, but they are a significant distance off the ground, barred with iron. And when Mr. Hofang leaves and the last of the employees leave, the doors are padlocked. There are guards inside during the night, no more than 4. We didn't go inside, obviously.
Is there a commissary or somewhere that you're aware of that people eat, or do they bring in food to this place?
I would imagine they bring their lunches with them.
But nothing for, like, nothing larger than that.
No, that would cost Hofang money.
Chris, how long has the girl been kidnapped for?
At this point, I think it's 3 days.
Thanks for all that information. We have to go see someone. How do we reach you if we need to?
Am I not coming with you?
I mean, we only have one stop we need to take with a man who we know speaks English. I guess you can wait outside.
I will.
Chris,
wait.
Chris, yeah, I'm kind of hesitant to put him in harm's way, considering everything that has happened over the last 24 hours.
I will wait outside. But should you need any other business, you will need a native to conduct the transaction for you.
Okay. Can you order us 2 rickshaws to go to the puzzle house, please?
Certainly. And he will go off to do so.
Lee, can I ask you one question?
Oh, certainly, sir.
When Hofang comes or goes, is he accompanied by bodyguards, guards, a retinue, that kind of thing?
He usually arrives with 2 people I assume to be security.
Do those same 2 leave with him?
Yes. They may work in the warehouse in some capacity, but they arrive with him and they leave with him.
Do you have descriptions of those individuals? Because I'm curious if they match anybody we've seen or heard of.
There. And he'll give you a description of them. They sound fairly generic. Like no distinguishing scars or facial features or anything that would draw them out of a crowd.
Do any of them match the people we thought were tailing us or anything when we did try that splitting up in different rickshaws?
No.
Sorry, the 2 individuals he's describing, are they Chinese from the sounds of it?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Mr.
Of course. And he will arrange for rickshaws for you. So you arrive at the Stumbling Tiger. It's like early on a Monday morning, so the place is fairly empty. As a matter of fact, inside, Fergus is inside, the bartender. Along with the Imperial Naval Captain. There's also a Chinese gentleman with him. A very young-looking gentleman, can't be any more than 25. And him and Asoge seem to be having some sort of conversation.
Chris, Fergus is the bartender?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, just double checking. Thank you.
Fergus is like, huh, come on in. It's not, it's not 5 o'clock yet, but can I get you anything to drink?
Do you have any kind of
Absolutely.
Do you have any kind of coffee you could whip around?
Yeah, I can make up some coffee.
Half and half.
You have what you will, Sharp. I just think I'm okay for tea for a little while.
No, I'm gonna take you up on your half and half of coffee and bourbon.
Will do. And it's okay. He'll look over. He'll kind of motion you over to the table. And as your eyes kind
Did we decide? Did we decide who's gonna do the talking here?
Nope.
I don't understand your question.
Who's going to be the one negotiating with the captain?
Oh. Oh. I guess we just have to be straight about what we want and where we're going with that, because I don't have a better plan.
So as you make your way over to the table, the Chinese gentleman, you notice he is dressed completely in Western style clothing. Very kind of like upper middle class Western style clothing. His like neat hair is kind of like tucked back, like everything looks perfectly in place. He looks very out of place in this kind of dive bar.
And in the city.
And in the city.
I mean, maybe not in this particular neighborhood, but this is not how the people here have been dressing. Like, we stand out because we're wearing the same stuff he's wearing right now.
Yep. And Captain Taro was like, Anthony Chang. These are... I never did get your names, but...
I think we're beyond that.
I'm Alvin. He's Dr. Lawrence. That's Evelyn. And that's Miles over there.
Excellent.
I only give him first names. Not that he can't trace us anyway, but...
And Anthony kind of smiles at that. I suppose. And he'll look to Captain Taro and say, perhaps we should conduct our business later. Taro kind of like tips his coffee cup. Says, I will speak up with you. I will catch up with you later.
How's Anthony's accent?
Anthony speaks very, very good English. There's a slight accent if you listen for it.
Huh.
And actually, why don't people give me? Let's call it listen rolls.
Like, yeah, because now I'm like, but which part of the country is this accent from?
Sorry, who's Anthony again?
Anthony is the Chinese gentleman that was with Captain Tyro.
Does he sound like he's from New York? Oh, I've got no clue. It's up to Investigator Man.
Ooh, Alvin with the hard success.
Hmm.
Right. So yeah, he has a very slight accent when he speaks English. He does slip into fluent Chinese when he says goodbye to Fergus. But his English is accented, and Alvin, you kind of go like, wait, I've heard that accent before. And when you were in London, you heard that accent. That is the accent of somebody who spent considerable time in London and was probably educated at Oxford.
He's a scholar.
I forgot to squint a bit.
I say,
checking.
yeah, I say as I'm squeaking it, sitting at the table.
I forgot to squint a bit and look at him just to see if he's seen him at any conference or anything like that.
Never.
Okay. Interesting.
Captain Taro kind of smiled at Alvin and said, like, Anthony is educated, yes, but he's not a scholar. Reporter, I believe, editor of the Shanghai Courier. Remarkable job for someone so young, but his family has connections.
Chris, since we often take a look at newspapers, does that newspaper lean in a certain direction?
It is the one that actually printed the truth about the attacks. It's the one that had the stories about the monsters and stuff. It's not much of a paper. It's like 12 pages.
Is it sensationalist but even though it's on the
No, not really. More truthful than sensationalist if you know the truth. If you're not keyed into the fact that yes, monsters are real, then it comes across as sensationalistic.
Oh.
I passed that comment. Isn't that the one that says the monsters and stuff? Well, why would you be involved with that? I took to the Japanese. I'm trying to see if we can talk to him about monsters or if he thinks it's like all hoot now.
I do. Anthony prints what he feels will sell papers. Other than that, he and I have, let's call it, similarly aligned interests.
Speaking of similarly aligned interests, we spoke to our common friend who said he's willing to talk to you and give you some information you're looking for if you can help him with a problem of his.
What sort of problem?
I'm going to let the good doctor explain that.
I don't know how total your evaluation of him is, but his company, this lady friend in waiting, has been kidnapped.
Well, strong arm tactics are nothing new.
From what we know, he is currently in guard by Ofang.
I've had my eye on Hofang.
Oh,
Have you heard of what happened in the hotel yesterday?
I heard there was a structural defect, an accident. Several people were killed.
Probably not an accident.
That was Hofang trying to get to us.
Then Hofang is much less tidy than I thought he would be.
Sometimes he's more in for expediency than subtlety.
I see. Well, if Mr. Brady is willing to give me information, then I am more than willing to help him.
You haven't asked what help he's looking for.
I know what information I want, and if he provides it, then whatever help he needs, I will ensure that he gets.
we might need to do that in the other order.
That's a problem then.
Yeah, see, someone's going to die if we don't act fast enough.
I think that's the cue for him to say that he'd better get his information fast.
Is it someone I should care about?
It's someone Mr. Brady cares about.
And probably if something happens to her, we'll be a lot less cooperative forever.
Or dead.
He's going to try to save her. All the information you're looking for dies with him if he doesn't get out alive. How does he react to that? I'm not good at psychology. I have like 1%. I just hopefully he reacts in some way.
People can give me psychology rolls.
Can you roll, Yorick? Or is your device not cooperating?
I can't roll for him. Close. Evelyn, he doesn't react at all to the idea that somebody might die.
Mm-hmm.
But when you mentioned that the information that he wants may disappear as well, he kind of narrows his eyes at that.
Not surprising.
I think I'm going to go with that's our avenue. Yeah, he's going to do something stupid, and he's going to face off with Hofang to try to save his love. And if you can help him do that, he will be quite literally in your debt.
He seems to think about it for a second, kind of like sips at his coffee. You can see like the gears churning in his head.
I also sip my coffee, and I'm wondering what the quality of the bourbon that was put in here.
It's reminiscent of bourbon.
Sounds like it might be a little less than 50-50.
It's definitely got that alcohol burn, and if you like close your eyes and think really, really hard, it might vaguely taste like bourbon. Like Maybe they made a batch of bourbon in the bathtub this came out of and didn't clean it properly before they made the moonshine.
It was
Yeah,
stirred
so-
with the same spoon that they made bourbon with.
Yep.
Oh, God.
It's a cheap bourbon knockoff.
It aspires to be cheap bourbon.
It was stored in the same room as cheap bourbon.
It's spelled bourbon.
With a Q.
I have my milk every day. I add a little bit more. I motion to add a little bit more coffee to my cup, and then I'm gonna wait for our good military friend to deliberate.
Find out from Brady what he needs for help, and tell him that I will help him, but he'll provide me the information. He'll answer all the questions I have.
We need a distraction.
We'll
that we
put you in the
can
same
get
room
Pearl
together.
out of the house.
I think the only thing Brady has for now is a distraction, though. He needs people willing to come with him.
I can free up some men. Alright. Tell Mr. Brady I'll have 2 men that can go with him. They're efficient. But he will answer my questions.
2?
2 is what I can spare. Anything more than 2, and then there will be questions.
I with Evelyn having that like 2, I kind of like motion that, or I add, these are military men.
Yes. This is a man who toppled a hotel last night.
I say we put Brady and our good captain friend here in the same room together, and they can figure out how they can help each other.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. 2 men is what I can get on short notice with no questions asked. If he needs more than that, there's going to be paperwork.
We'll ferry your message to Brady.
Thank you. I'll wait for you here. I'm not going to motion over to Fergus to refill his coffee.
Chris, we asked Brady this question last time, and I know he gave us a means to get in touch with him. I just don't remember what that is.
You can get in touch with him at his scholar friend's house.
I think we had left a message for him, too, letting him know that we were looking for him.
Yep. But that's the only reliable way to get anything to him. Call of Cthulhu would be much different with cell phones.
Yeah, right? I can only imagine what the modern day game is like.
Let me just pull up my Pocket Necronomicon on my smartphone.
That's why we backtracked all of our modern vampire game back in 1998. No cell phone, fax machines,
Oh,
simpler
God.
time.
Right?
Let me do a Control F for an elder sign.
Why is my other side not working? Well, the page didn't load completely, so it's just half there.
Run this.
I got the
ancient str-
chanting on Napster, so it's half of it spread out through the song.
Let me just run this ancient text through Google Translate.
Oh,
What happens
somehow
when
my
an what happens
somehow
when
my
an
computer
AI
has
gets
left.
possessed?
Sorry, what was that?
When an AI get possessed, that's how you get Shadowrun.
Mm-hmm.
When your computer is losing sanity, that's Shadowrun.
Paranoia.
Oh yeah, that's when your computer has just become the elder god.
I mean, in Shadowrun, isn't there daemons inside the computers?
Yep. Shadowrun, such a great setting and such a crappy system.
Yep. Great setting, terrible system.
Like every single edition of Shadowrun gets one thing right and botches everything else.
And then the subsequent edition removes that one thing and replaces it with something else that they get wrong.
Yeah, they can only have one good thing at a time.
All right. So you guys have convinced Captain Taro to lend assistance. Meager though it may be, but some assistance.
Better than none. Hopefully.
And you've got about half an hour until Jack is ready to go.
Sorry, I'm confused. Was this supposed to happen at 11 a.m. or p.m.?
AM, because he plans to hit the mansion when Ho Fang isn't there.
Ah, okay.
Ho Fang is at his warehouse from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m.
It's a long day. I mean, maybe not for a cultist, but
All right, so what are you guys doing?
going to deliver the message.
Yeah, we need to get the message fast to him so he can turn around and incorporate the two men into his plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, you guys can catch up with Jack easily. He's making his preparations. So, are you guys ready to go?
We spoke with the Japanese military man we spoke to you about.
Taro, yeah.
He's willing to give you some men to help, as long as you answer some of his questions.
If he, oh, fuck.
He's willing to meet with you to discuss.
How to do that attack thing?
Oh, and he kind of kicks like the edge of the sofa. He's like, God damn it. Fine. If we get her back, to hell with everything else. All right. I'll meet with them. It'll have to be quick. I mean, if we're gonna do this today, we're burning daylight till Ho Fang's done.
Yeah.
And he kind of grabs up like an old like military duffel bag. It looks kind of heavy and it clanks a bit.
I assume this must include the items we've mentioned.
Oh, I got some guns and stuff just in case. Never know how many people might be in there. I don't think his mansion is that heavily guarded. But I'd rather be prepared than not prepared.
What do you think the Japanese gentleman's gonna ask you?
He's been trying to dig up information on China first, find out what they're up to, find out what their plans are. He thinks I know the higher ups just because I do know the higher ups. He wants to get a beat on them. I don't know what his angle is. I don't know if he wants to talk to them. I don't know if he wants to recruit them. I don't know if he wants to help them, but I'm really not comfortable giving up these guys to the Japanese. But don't have a lot of options. And no, she's worth it. I mean, maybe not to them, but fuck those guys.
Mm.
I don't see any of them willing to help me get her back, so...
It's the measure of a true ally.
I mean, give them credit. They're still willing to cause a distraction, try to lure some of the guards out, but they're not going into the compound. So if Taro's men will go into the compound, then I'll tell him what he wants to know.
Ofeng sent the hunting beast after us yesterday.
Oh, I was, yeah, he sent one after me, but I'd already vacated the area he thought I was in.
Well, we'll need to find a new hotel.
There's plenty of them around. Just, stick to the international settlement. Don't go outside the walls. You get too far away from the international settlement, and Ho Fang tends to have eyes and ears pretty much everywhere. He'll pick you up if you go too far.
Is there any chance that if he doesn't know where we are, he can send another thing after us?
I mean, if he hasn't spotted you since the hotel was destroyed and he thinks you're dead, he probably won't bother. I mean, he knows I'm alive, but I've got shit he wants.
So if we go help you at the compound, chances are he's gonna know we're alive.
Not if we don't leave any of his people alive.
I'd be more comfortable if we put a stop to him.
Well, he's at his warehouse till 6 o'clock tonight.
Wow.
But when he comes back to the compound and he sees I made a mess of things, he's going to be upset.
You're leaving town, right?
Yeah, once I've got Mei Ling, no reason for me to hang out. I've already got passage booked.
What about the scroll?
Moo's still translating it, and I can't ask a man that age to travel, so he's off the radar. Ho Fang doesn't know how to find him. Moo's no slouch. He's protected.
We've helped you get this far. Do we get the scroll when you're done? Since you're leaving anyway?
It's got to go to somebody that can do something with it. I mean, I thought I'd stay and fight this out, but I can't risk something happening to her.
The ante's too high.
Yeah. But the scroll, what it contains, Anything that Moo may have that might be useful that was mine, it's all yours.
You studied Ofeng going around.
I wouldn't say studied. I know of him. He's a sorcerer.
Yeah, but if they don't see it coming, they're as frail as anybody else.
True.
Just wonder if there's a vantage point where I could get a line of sight to him when he's going to and from his manor.
I mean,
Do you know of one?
if you're okay with gunning down a man in cold blood on the street, I mean, it's Shanghai. Nobody's going to pay much attention.
I mean, it seems to be the tradition here. Just not gonna get through another of those things trying to hunt us down another night.
Wait outside his door, shoot him in the head when he steps out, make a run for it. If you're faster than his bodyguards, you get away. If you don't get away, Hofang's still dead.
This is not the kind of war I'm used to.
I look at the doctor. What kind of war are you used to?
Defending the mountain was rarely tested. Usually, if you shoot down an officer, it stops.
And
It's a city. There's civilians. It's not a war.
And Jack will look right at Alvin and say, "There's a difference between a war and killing a man in cold blood." It's a line that very few cross and even fewer come back from.
This man has killed at least 3 people in the last week to get to us. And I need this to stop, but it's a lot to ask to just shoot him down. And I know I should, but I don't know. It's a lot to ask.
Oh, that's a decision no one can make for you.
Yeah. Well, let's go talk with the captain. We'll see how it goes.
All right. And he'll basically pass on like everything that he's told you to the scholar to Moo, letting him know that should he not return, or more accurately, when he doesn't return, because he's either gonna die in there or he's gonna escape. That the translation and everything goes to you guys.
Chris, I'd like a minute to go through his plan, or what he thinks his plan is, with Alvin. Alvin right now is considering adding his gun to the whole thing.
Well, Jack's plan is simple in its, or I guess elegant in its simplicity. His friends are going to arrange a distraction. He's going to go over the wall. He's going to search the mansion until he finds his girlfriend and kill anybody that gets between him and her.
There really is nothing more to it than that, eh?
There's nothing more to it than that. I mean, judging from that he is like Jack is he's an ex-Marine, he's military, so undoubtedly when he gets into the compound it will be a lot of using cover and all that, but the basics of the plan are very simple. The simpler it is, the less things that can go wrong.
Sometimes the simplest plans are the best.
Exactly. I've been a part of operations where the plans were so complicated people couldn't remember what they were doing. Those end up with a high body count.
Can't say I've been on anything that would be called an assault like that.
Well, you're still young, Doctor.
Hmm.
And he'll kind of smile.
Defending a strip of land of your country is something. Leading an assault is something else.
Everyone's got their job to do.
Yes.
All
I
right.
just need to make sure this is finished.
Understood. And whatever happens, good luck.
Yes.
And then he'll go with you to talk to Captain Taro. And the two of them go off by themselves to talk for a bit while you guys can decide what you would like to do while this assault is happening.
Do any of you want to go inside?
Chris, Alvin is going to go with them. You don't need to narrate it, or excuse me, you don't need to go through the entire thing with me. You can either narrate it or have me ask me for some roles. But I think that they've convinced Alvin enough that he needs to do this, and the payoff for the group is good enough, so it needs to succeed.
All right.
Yeah, Evelyn's staying behind. She's just going to get in the way with her bat leg.
All right. What about Miles and Dr. Carter?
I would rather we decide as a group to stay together one way or another. So
Oh,
I'm
if he makes
flexible.
that opinion known.
Well, I'm just gonna say that I'm not confident in letting Miss Evelyn inside that compound for safety reason. Uh, if any of you decide to go, I'm willing to stay close by to be of assistance if needs be. But I'm not sure how to approach this. Going gun blazing inside there is not me. I could offer some cover, but that's the best I could do. I'm willing to stay outside and to find a good vantage point and offer some assistance. But getting in gun blazing is something I don't think I'm capable of. But we already said that splitting ourselves too much is dangerous. So depends on how you see it, Miles.
I'm going to go back to something that I asked all of you a while back in terms of what your goals are. And you were all rather adamant about dealing with this particular thing and every little thing that comes along. That's this, you now seem to be, unless I'm mistaken, going against that. So color me confused.
I want to keep Mr. Brady alive. I think the fact that we found him some allies will help with that. I was under the impression that trying to go fetch the May inside would also be an occasion to deal with Ofang, which it is not. And right now I'm trying to figure out a way to both support this assault but not leave Miss Evelyn in danger. Does that make any sense?
I think
I have
given
I have an ulterior motive of going in. As much as it is important to keep Brady alive because he has valuable information, as much as one innocent person's life is got caught up in all of this, these are all good reasons. When we go in there, no one is going to be looking for the things that we need to find or that we need to look for, that we would look for. I might not
True.
be Dr. Lawrence. I might not be Evelyn. But if I see something that is worthwhile, that I think is worthwhile for us, at least I can try to bring that back.
Grab anything you can that has strange symbols on them that you don't understand. That is a valid way to choose.
And I don't expect anyone to come with me, and I know that we are stronger together than apart. What happens after this is that Brady leaves, and we are the only target that Ho Fang has. So we need something.
And we either need Ofang to think we're dead, or we need to have a way of dealing with it.
He doesn't need to think we're dead. He can simply cast the thing and say, go off and find them, even if he thinks we're dead or not, and it will find us.
Well, if he thinks we're dead, it's still a sacrifice that he doesn't have to make to send that thing.
Burn the house down.
He is still looking for the scroll.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if you burn the house down after stealing whatever you can carry, then he won't have the tools, hopefully, that he needs to do his rituals, to summon things. It'll at least be a setback.
unless he has backups at his warehouse, but even so, it deals him a significant blow.
Right. I greatly doubt that he's keeping his most precious items at his warehouse. I mean, he might be. I don't know the man, but I'm going to guess that it's not being held in a place of business. He may move things through there, but I don't think that's where he's keeping his most treasured items.
Miles, can I have a word with you in private, though?
Of course.
So we walk into the other room, and I kind of have that face-to-face with Miles. And I say, if I don't come back from this, he's coming at you and everybody else hard. And I won't be around. You got this, right?
I have this as well as one can have this, I believe. I just don't see why you feel the need to split us up to go off on whatever little private agenda you seem to have.
It's not a private agenda. It's just we need some kind of tool that we can use against him. I mean, what happens here? We just sit back, we wait, Mailing leaves, and we're the only target he has. We need something.
And one person amongst our group going in by himself
I'm not alone.
jeopardizes the entire group.
I'm not alone. I have Jack, and I have the military men that our Japanese captain is supplying, and I have China First. Going in alone would be something that I would have to do on my own. But now, if you tell me this is a bad idea, I won't go.
I've already said that it's a bad idea. You seem to be trying to convince yourself that it isn't, or me that it isn't. The one person who should, in all likelihood, not go in at all is Ms. Evelyn, but if she isn't going to be involved, then she should be far, far away from it, and the rest of us should be there. Or perhaps somebody stays with her as a handler, and the rest of us go in, but that's still splitting us up, so damned if we do, damned if we don't.
What do you think our odds are if we just let this play out? And then he turns his full attention on us.
If we do absolutely nothing at this point, and we let the captain help Jack with them, what does Ho Fang have to come after us for specifically right now? We don't know if he thinks we're already dead or not because of the incident at the hotel.
Well, we have the scroll. Really, that's all he wants. He doesn't really want Jack. He just wants the scroll. And that'll just have passed to us.
At the end of the day, I am not your boss. If you want to go in, you're going to go in.
Yeah, but you're right. There's more than just me to think of. We're a team together. I think I'm doing this for the right reasons. But everything's all mixed up in my head with. I mean, how do you say that one person's life is worth more than somebody else's? This is all screwed up.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't. Normally, I am all for kicking down a door to go and deal with the thing before it becomes a bigger threat. But usually I'm doing that by myself. I'm not usually doing it in a group.
You know what? You're right. I'm not fixing anything here. Ho Fang isn't on the other side of that door. Me going in doesn't solve the problem.
True, unless he pulls a surprise and he didn't go to work today. But other than that, you're absolutely right.
Thanks for this talk, Miles.
Of course.
We come back in.
All right. Jack and Captain Taro and Taro's men have arrived. And there's a look of kind of like resolute acceptance on their face.
I'm going to have a quick word with Jack and tell him I can't go with you as much as you need to save your girlfriend. I need to be here and to protect my own.
Understood. I mean, like I said, what's the point of saving the world if those that you care about die, right?
Yeah.
So I know what I'm getting into. This is You ever do anything in your life that you really, really regret?
Is that a for real question? I didn't think it was called a life unless you regret something.
And then you meet the person that, makes you feel better about yourself.
Sure.
All right. So she's in this mess because of me. So I've got no choice. You do, and I respect that. And I'll kind of like hold out his hand.
Yeah, I'll shake it. Good luck.
And same to you. Hope the information that I provided is helping. I'm sure Moo will be able to provide any guidance you might need.
In a year, if the world is still spinning, you can say, Alvin did all right.
Well, the world's still here in a year. Meet me at the bar.
Yeah, that's a deal.
And Jack and the men will go off. The men stop and they talk to Captain Taro for a bit in Japanese. And then they'll leave with Jack. Leaving you guys alone in the bar.
So now we have to plan for retaliation?
Yeah, I think you're muted there.
Sorry, I said now we need to plan for retaliation?
Sorry. I meant Anita, but...
Okay.
What other business do we have in this city?
Make sure no one gets their hand on that scroll or the translated pieces of the scroll. Make sure that we cut off the head of the snake of the cult. And there's still a woman who is asking us also for the scroll instead of Hofei. Same situation as in London, but in Shanghai. 2 heads, 1 body.
So we give her the scroll and we go off to wherever the next place is on the list, unless there's something pressing still in Shanghai.
Well, the scroll is talks about how to end the world. So I'm a firm believer no one gets the scroll, but we're hoping to translate it. We're hoping to translate it for a stopping mechanism. Doctor, you said we need to find a proper way to stop these rituals. We can't just interrupt it because then bad things happen.
Yeah, we the scroll technically has a way to restore the eye that they broke on top of the pyramid, if I understood well. So currently our game plan is trying to hold off Fang long enough for us to have a translation of the scroll. We can work with whatever is in it, because whatever information is in it can help us with dealing with that.
Right. In layman's speak, you said last time it's the instructions on how to defuse the bomb.
Yes. There is a thing called the Eye of Light and Darkness that prevented them from being able to do their thing. If we can put that back in, like in Peru, we should be able to defuse the bomb.
Correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Moo translate the scroll, or he only got partway through translating the scroll?
It still need like 3 days to finish translating the scroll. That's why we're trying to hold on. I mean, if we want to try to stop the cult in Shanghai, we should try to stop Ofang. If we want to just get the information for the Eye of Light and Darkness, we need to hold on until the scroll is translated. If you want to know what they're planning and what they're working on, it's happening inside the warehouse that Ofang is currently in right now, where all the things are shipped from London to here. And there was also the other member of the expedition on the island that the people of New China were planning on doing something with, but it was later once Ofeng thing was happening. Sorry, my mind is a bit messy, but some people in New China were supposed to go to that island to try to fix that, try to know what she was doing.
I don't fault you. When you're as smart as you are, there are lots of things that can fit in your brain. There's not a lot of them that can fit in mine. So I think I got maybe 20% of that.
Okay, what we still need to do in Shanghai: stay long enough, survive long enough to know what's in the scroll, because we need that to fix the Eye of Light and Darkness.
Right. Wait for the scroll. And that's for multiple things. It's also potentially find out what they're doing, fix the things. Like there's a lot of that hinges on the scroll. And ultimately, we also don't want them to get the scroll, right? That's even worse than us not getting information, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Then there is the case of Ofeng and the warehouse. Something about their great plan is taking place in that warehouse, where they
Which we
receive
may
the
or
thing.
may not know about if once we have the scroll, right? The scroll might tell us what they're doing and how to stop it anyway.
Exactly, but we don't know exactly what they're doing, if the machine is being built in there or something like that. But something with the warehouse. And the third thing is, right now my mind is not able to put a name on it, but one of the survivors of the expedition, who was the one that got batshit insane and are trying to summon that thing, is doing something on an island nearby.
Which we would know more about if we had the scroll translated. So I feel like the scroll is becoming more and more important.
And the people of New China were thinking of doing something about her. So we might be able to get their help with that. But it was not till in a few days.
So after all
Look,
that, is that clear for anyone? Because it wasn't super clear to me, but it
and
sounds like we're
Aubrey,
waiting.
Aubrey Penhew is the Pale Viper. He's the one on the boat. And he's the one who has something planned on Grey Dragon Island.
Yes, Great Dragon Island, that's the name.
The names here, aren't they just amazing? Is it just me? Everything is named so colorfully.
I mean,
what's the name of that island?
terrifying.
There's no Main Street here. There's no Water Street. Nothing is that planned.
No, just Poison Alley or something crazy like that.
Sorry, what's the name of that island again?
Great Dragon.
Great Dragon.
Sorry,
I mean,
gray
it
or
doesn't sound like a
green?
very gray. Not a very flashy dragon, but still, dragon.
It's a common sense dragon. Like I don't quite get
There's
where
no
we're going.
25th Avenue.
Island on a map that we can easily see.
Yeah, you can easily grab a map.
Yeah, I think it's
We're still
Aubrey.
right? We'll see if Ferguson has one.
And Brady had half of the Eye of Light and Darkness, if I remember well.
He does. He had half of the one that was broken in Egypt.
I assume that's still at Moo's place.
Yep.
So that's half. If we can find the other half and the scroll can explain to us how to fix them, maybe we can do something about all that.
Hopefully.
All right. So grabbing a map, Frick is like, here. You guys need
Thank you
refills?
so much. Yes, please.
Coffee or bourbon?
Yes, please.
All
Both.
right.
I think Alvin would like a bit more bourbon in his this time.
It's only because I hate myself.
I'll just leave the bottle.
Does it come in a bottle, or is it like a bourbon sack, like in a sack of wine?
Box of bourbon. That's how you know it is quality.
It's called
With a
Burdock.
lowercase.
Thank you very much.
Quality with a lowercase q.
It's the sack is good quality when it comes in a box.
It's Burdock, like a fine card Bordeaux.
Alrighty. So, Grey Dragon Island, as you look at it, and somebody give me a let's call it a navigation roll.
That's a thing that's on my sheet. Hold on.
I got some.
It is. I have, I guess you could call it some. Ooh,
All right.
Miles Missouri's going. Never mind then. Oh wait, I have to roll it to have a chance of raising it. Never mind. No.
Navigation, you say?
Yes. All right. So Miles, I mean, any of you can look at the map and go like, oh, there it is. Miles can actually like read the map and the contour lines and all of that fun stuff.
This is an island. That's not an island. That's a mountain.
So Miles, for all of you, Grey Dragon Island is about 480 kilometers southeast of Shanghai. So it's a trip to get there.
Sorry, south what?
Southeast. The island itself is not super big. It's probably about maybe 2 miles wide and maybe 7 or 8 miles long. So not a big island by any stretch. But Miles, as you're looking at the contours, it is it's a dormant volcano.
Oh no!
That would be terrible. Oh shit.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine. It probably hasn't erupted in hundreds of years.
So yeah, basically.
Oh yes, by the way, it's a dormant volcano, everyone.
Like 100 years, like the last time that somebody just sacrificed stuff to kill like thousands of people around here.
Hundreds of thousands of people.
Oh.
So yeah, as you're looking at like kind of like the shape of the island, you can see like the island is basically composed of like in the past when the volcano has erupted and the lava flows down and then hardens when it hits the water and then builds on itself over time. That's what has formed the island. So the caldera of the volcano is kind of central to the island, and because you're actually skilled in navigation, you're like, okay. It does have a little lagoon. It's probably actually, as long as it's not erupting, the soil would be excellent for growing crops and stuff.
Did you just say as long as it's not erupting, it's great for growing crops?
Uh-huh. Volcanic soil is really good for crop growing.
Yes.
No, I get that. It's just I love that you added the while as long as it's not erupting.
Well,
And I would point that out too. Very
plants would,
casual.
plants would grow better when they're not on fire, so I guess it checks out.
Did I mention I love this game today? Because Jesus.
And
Using it to sacrifice thousands. Lovely.
just doing some quick math here.
Hey, Chris, a question for you from looking at a map.
Yep.
Is there any kind of railway service that takes us to a town or a depot that would enable us to have a short boat crossing?
No. I mean, Shanghai is a port city, and it's probably the closest major port to Grey Dragon Island. And in Miles' estimation, at maximum speed, it would take the better part of probably 2 days to get there. And that's like if you're on like a fairly fast moving ship, not like a little sailboat or a rowboat or anything.
I know Brady said something about New China wanting to intervene over there. Whatever Penny was doing there was not good for their hope for China.
And say everybody can give me a history roll too.
Historically, as long as civilization is not on fire, it is good.
Soil's great, as long as you're not on fire.
That's right. I mean, if you're going to be picky.
The trick is not being on fire.
All right. Evelyn with a hard success on the history check.
Apparently.
So Evelyn, you're well read. You keep on top of things.
I try.
As you're kind of looking at the location of this island and the name Grey Dragon Island and the fact that it used to be a volcano, you read something in the papers at some point, and Grey Dragon Island doesn't actually belong to China. It doesn't belong to any country. No country lays claim to it. That being said, the British and the Japanese Navy have labeled the vicinity treacherous waters.
Because of all the fire.
You don't.
Well, I imagine because of all of the previous eruptions that have made it a bit rocky underneath. You wouldn't want to sail too close to it. Penhue's little yacht might be fine. The Dark Mistress or whatever it was called. I think it was Dark Mistress. Sounds like a Penhue thing.
Was the machine that they were trying to build a boat?
Nobody knows.
It was a. Luther seemed to think it was an engine for something. But then, I mean, Luther's mechanically inclined, so of course he'd naturally go to an engine first. But I trust his judgment on that. We just couldn't figure out what it was an engine for. Because it was too large for a car.
Too large for a plane, too large for a train.
Right.
But boats get really big.
Yes. They certainly do. But, he'll, I don't know if he'd be back in New York yet or not. But he's going to keep looking into it and then send us word once he knows.
Maybe we can talk with the Japanese gentleman about this island?
We can try to find out why they've named it Treacherous Waters.
If it's an
It may have
international water and it's
Does it matter? I mean, right now there is a raid that is happening right now on Ho Fang's holdings. Ho
Yes.
Fang is going to come home, and he's going to be angry. And we have both the scroll and his ire. So as much as I'm really interested in Volcano Island, we have like very important things that will be coming up in like an hour.
Once he gets home, we should strike the warehouse. Before he's had a chance to hire more people for his security or...
Are you suggesting we yo-yo him?
Yes. A little bit.
Huh.
Well, I'm thinking that if it takes a while, because they're a decent distance away. How long did we know that it takes him to travel from one to the other? Chris?
Probably at least 45 minutes, if not longer.
He's got 45 minutes after he leaves the building, the warehouse, that is, before he arrives home. So if we wait until he's 35 minutes after he leaves the warehouse, and then light the warehouse on fire, because apparently fire is where my mind is going today. I'm not entirely sure.
I give her a look and I say, well, you know, fire is a catalyst for some magic things.
And a cleanser.
Yeah.
do we really want to destroy this without knowing what's inside?
We have the scroll. You're the one telling me the scroll has all the answers.
Is the scroll as answer? Like all the answer is a bit too much to ask. But we need to make sure that the scroll is safe. But knowing what's happening inside the warehouse could be good, but we're not that great at infiltration. If I remember the last warehouse we tried to get in.
Right. Which is why I'm thinking that we just light it on fire and not bother going in.
But there are people there during the day, right? We said it's empty at night and it gets locked up, but there are people there during the day.
Right, but they're going to run out once it's on fire. And he may very well take... If he thinks his house is under attack, he may very well take them with him when he goes to investigate the house.
Just as a a note for people from Lynn's surveillance, Lee's surveillance. At night when Hofang leaves, like the bodyguards that accompany him go with him. There are still guards there, according to Lee, 4-ish or so, but the doors are padlocked at night, which means those guards are locked inside.
All the more reason to do it during the day.
Thing is, we don't know if he's going to be warned that his house is under attack. Probably.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, once he's 35 minutes out of the warehouse, whether he knows about his house being attacked or not, that's still a 35-minute ride back to the warehouse again.
The thing is, we don't know if he's been warned just now and he's coming back home, or if it's going to happen when he finishes day at 6.
We should probably go and have a look.
I guess, yeah.
Sitting here, maybe it's the bourbon talking, maybe it's the coffee, but sitting here, knowing that Mr. Brady is trying to rescue the love of his life, and we're having coffee and bourbon. We could be doing more damage to this evil bastard, pardon my language, who's been attacking us night after night.
Oh, I don't disagree.
Mr. Sharp has the skills. See? You have the skills to keep an eye on the warehouse to see when he leaves. And to see how many of them leave.
I'm also the guy you want to sneak in, but broad daylight is pretty bold.
Yes, but it still needs to be done, I think. Because if we burn it, then not only does Ho Fang not have it, but his female competition can't get it either. And neither of them can give it to Penhue. We should burn down the warehouse. What was it Luther made that... Maybe we were just talking. About taking bottles of alcohol and stuffing rags into them.
Molotov cocktail.
Sure. Ferguson? What do you have that no one buys but has a disgustingly high alcohol content? And that's why no one buys it, is because of the disgustingly high alcohol content.
I'm gonna guess the bourbon, but
Bourbon's fine for drinking.
I'm glad it's not just me.
We got stuff that we brew up for the students to make firebombs out of.
That is perfect.
Don't drink it; you'll go blind.
No. Planning on making some firebombs.
Oh, sure.
this is way too easy.
Oh, this is... You... No wonder you live here and not in the United States. You would be completely wasted there. Not in the drinking sense, but your skills would be entirely wasted there. Prohibition's still going on. It's horrible.
Oh, I've heard.
Do not recommend it. speakeasies are doing very well. Very, very well. Terrible quality alcohol, but still.
I don't know what you'd be talking about as he kind of like eyes around.
No, I'm sure you don't. They don't have prohibition here. You're fine.
Oh, I meant about the low quality alcohol.
Oh, no, I wasn't disparaging your quality of your bourbon. Yes, firebombs.
Sure. Not the first ones to do it.
Do they leave their equipment here?
Oh, what equipment? It's a bottle, some booze, and a rag.
Well, yes, but I don't carry bottles with me wherever I go.
If only you were in a bar.
If only.
I mean, I'm not necessarily one to condone bad ideas, but here you go.
But bad ideas that you can charge for.
Mm-hmm. Look, I mean, I've got it pretty good here, but Ho Fang and his type, I mean, they don't spend money in my bar. They hoard their wealth. They don't give money to other people to spend in my bar. Now, burn the fucker down.
You might be one of my new favorite people.
I'm lots of people's favorite people because I'm the bartender.
Well, I mean, yes, but no.
But yeah,
Now you have one more to the list that is actually not an alcoholic.
but yes, Fergus 100% has the things necessary to make Molotov cocktails. And as long as you're paying for it, he doesn't even care.
Should have known he was an agent of chaos when he was just letting like the Chinese youth and the Japanese fellow mix and mingle to their heart's content in his bar. It's like, dude, you're stirring up what kind of trouble here? Okay.
Right. So yes, you can easily make Molotov cocktails.
Excellent. I'm afraid to ask if you'd like an explosives roll. Oh wait, there is no explosives roll.
There is a demolition skill. It's hidden because it is an
Oh,
uncommon skill.
demolition. Oh, that would explain why neither see nor have it. Yeah.
And demolitions is much more for actual explosives. Molotov cocktails comes under throwing.
Something with more planning and skill.
Yeah, I actually have points in demolition for some reason.
You're
I think
educated.
somebody in the group did. I thought it was Dr. Carter.
You're
Yes, it is.
educated, of course.
A long boat ride, nothing to read.
I mean, after Peru, where we tried to blow down the dynamite to have it cave in, and it didn't work, it was like, never again. I'll read on that.
Oh, yeah. Nothing worse than waiting for a bomb to go off, and it doesn't.
Yep, I made that mistake before. I had to burn down the place. Stupid wet dynamite.
So you guys are spending the afternoon making Molotov cocktails?
Do we wanna go check on the warehouse? See if he left the place? Or if we could take advantage of the fact that his house is under attack to do something about the place?
Do we have our translator with us, Chris? Or is...
Yes, Lee has agreed to wait outside until called upon, so he's not exposed to anything that you guys might not want him to see.
Excellent. I will hobble out to him I need you to hire someone who's either very fast on one of those rickshaws or just runs quickly to deliver messages fast.
So a messenger?
Or has a horse. What if? Yes. Except we're not actually going to get him to deliver messages to anyone. We need to know when a person leaves a building.
And then give us the message.
And then run the message back to us that they've left.
You Westerners are strange.
Probably yes. But all of your streets have very lovely names. Your place names are amazing. Evelyn has obviously been drinking a bit.
I did not name them. There is no need to flatter me with the names of my city streets.
No! I'm not. No, that wasn't my intention. I'm just saying that by comparison,
Evelyn, he's a little young.
and not at all someone I would be interested in the way that you're implying. No, it's a cultural statement.
He's like 10 years younger.
Westerners are strange. This seems like 22. Westerners are strange. Chinese people have very lovely city names and place names. Very colorful.
I will find a message.
If I had, thank you. If I had the choice, really, would I rather live on Raining Marigolds Lane, or would I rather live on 41st Avenue? Well, let me think.
You would not want to live on Raining Marigolds Lane.
Probably not. I haven't looked at a map to see what that is. Is there?
But Grey Dragon Island.
Sounds much better than, I don't know, Cape Fear.
It is called Grey Dragon Island because the mountain is gray and it occasionally breathes fire. I don't think I would want to live there.
No. And right at the moment, I can't remember how Cape Fear got its name. But I'm sure it wasn't anything good.
So what building do you need this messenger to watch?
We need him to watch an import-export building.
Oh, Fangs?
Yes. Look at you, catching on. Getting used to our weird Western ways.
Didn't he imply that there were a bunch of students who didn't like Ho Fang and wanted to burn him to the ground anyway?
Yes. The students are very, very left-winging, and Ho Fang is a materialistic capitalist.
If you could... Yes. The students.
Yes.
We have some gifts for them. And once, about half an hour after he's left the building, we would like them to use those gifts on the building.
But the students are in class currently.
Well, maybe he won't leave soon. Maybe he'll wait until evening, when he usually leaves.
This has gotten
Can
far
someone-
more complicated.
Just send a messenger.
Dr. Carter, Mr. Franklin, can one of you come up with a plan so it's not Evelyn that comes up with the plan when we're talking about this? I feel like there's a lack of experience here. Not that I expected you guys to be more experienced.
I do not know where this is all going, but the willingness of the youth to, air quote here, burn down Mr. Ofeng might not translate to actual action. if we want to take a look while he's not there, perfectly fine. But I think we're not in a position to just offload this on the Shanghai Ute, if I may. But we can definitely keep an eye on if he leaves and go take a look.
So Lee will he'll arrange for the messenger. He understood that part.
Like, I do not have a plan right now, but let's go take a look as soon as he left, and we can figure something out.
This does sound like something Luther would do, though. Right?
Yes, it does.
Then it will do for today.
Your Luther face? Your Luther face?
I am having alcohol before lunch. So, yes, I'm going to say I am in my Luther face.
Yes, you're having the Luther diet.
I'm adding bourbon to my coffee at a ridiculous hour of the morning. So, evidently. But
I agree that the fact that Ofeng will be occupied with his house is an occasion for us to assess this place.
Right. I think we should just burn it, though. We don't even take anything from it. Just torch the thing. I mean, unless we have the opportunity to destroy stuff inside it, and then we should destroy stuff inside it first. But I don't think we're going to be able to get in unless he takes all of his guards with him when he goes to the house.
That's why I advise we take opportunity that we have, and if there's no opportunity, well, we can go the Luther way.
I mean, we can always do the Luther plan as we leave. If he has taken all of his guards with him. Then we can go in, rummage around, and as we leave, throwing it to the ground. I just don't want to leave him with anything at this point.
I understand.
This is why I should not drink before noon.
Probably. But we should look for opportunities, seize them if we can. Mm-hmm. If we can take anything away from him, we need to know that it's going to bring his ire toward us also. But if we can deprive him of his ways, it's not lost. But if he knows we're still active, he's gonna send more hunters at us.
And you'll have to put up the shell, or whatever it is we're calling it.
Yeah.
Shield thing.
Won't be able to do that for very long, but.
Well, hopefully we won't be here for very long either.
A few days before that scroll is translated, and we still need to figure out what's happening on Great Dragon Island.
Right, but hopefully he'll be so distracted by the loss of whatever it is we destroy, or the wrath of whatever deity he serves, whichever version of the deity he serves, that he won't have an opportunity. Maybe he'll be scrambling to do something else, because we've destroyed something that was important. We can hope.
How long are you guys waiting for the messenger?
Should we get closer to that place?
Probably. We'll need to strike quickly. Well, we'll need to strike half an hour after he's left. 35 minutes after he's left. Give him time to get almost home. Thing is, if we're there and not here, how far is it from here to there?
20 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. Actually, no, it's not. That'll make it 40 minutes. We should get closer. And Ferguson knows where we're going. So if
We need to plan this and warn the courier beforehand of where we're gonna be. If we're gonna be closer to that place, we need to decide that before we send someone to fetch the courier. Do you agree with that?
we need to be no more than 15 minutes away from the warehouse. The Emporium. Import, export, whatever he called it.
And how far are we from Olfang's house?
You guys, probably 40 minutes.
Okay. So we won't hear about the ruckus over there.
No.
Probably.
Sorry, where exactly do we want to go now?
Well, we want to get closer.
We were talking about going to check on the warehouse of Ofeng. When he get warns that his house is under attack, we could take advantage of this to check the place. And Miss Evelyn was also suggesting that we just burn down the place.
Chris, is that warehouse like a fence that has a gate for like entrance and exit?
No, it does not. It is a brick building. It's on the north bank of the river. It is built. Part of it is built off onto like a wooden pier. It has a tile roof. 5 sets of doors, 2 stories tall. But it is not. It is not fenced or gated.
Well, at least going to the warehouse would be somewhat easier in that it's not fenced or gated.
Right,
It's daytime.
right. But once he leaves, if he takes his security with him, we can always round up some students. As opposed to us very obvious Westerners.
The fact that he padlocks in his guard at night is worrying me.
Isn't that strange?
I thought you were going to say illegal.
I don't know.
It would be if they had any human rights around here.
Or unions. But no, I can't say that it's illegal because I don't know. It's certainly uncomfortable. Mainly because we know the sorts of things that could get locked up in there with them. And who knows, maybe the guards know that too. Maybe they understand what they're guarding.
I mean, considering what he's doing around here, the guards inside are probably cultists.
Probably.
He seems to have a very large amounts of cultists at his service in Shanghai.
That's why I'm sort of hoping that he'll take them with him to the house. I don't really want to burn the building with people in it if we can help it. I'm not that far into channeling Luther, but destroying the items that he's been shipping around the world? Yes, please. More of that.
I think the boat was currently under control of Aubrey. The boat that shipped the stock from England. He probably used it to go to Grey Dragon Island.
I'm not sure because he's got his little yacht.
All right.
I think he's just been using his little yacht for that. Especially if the waters around it are.
The boat had a very evocative name.
The Dark Mistress? Yes, quite.
Yeah, something like that.
But, Chris, once we've got a bunch of these fire bombs made,
All right.
we will pack them in something innocuous. Sure, Fergus probably has a box of some kind that we can borrow.
All right.
Or buy. Or rent or something. And then we'll get Lee to get us about 15 minutes away from the warehouse
Okay.
and get a courier from there.
All right. So you set everything up. Kind of wait for the courier, and eventually, probably like late afternoon, the courier finds you and says like, Ho Fang has left, and this is like way later than Brady and them did the assault.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brady and them, like assuming Brady and them like did the assault at around like noon, the courier comes to tell you that Ho Fang has left at like 3:00.
And the implication here is that the assault was either awesome and super successful, no one was alive to report, or it went terribly and he has nothing to worry about.
Yes, that's that was my thought too. It was like, oh, that either went really, really well or really, really poorly.
Either way, it is out of your hands.
Yes, it is. This only.
And it happened. So he went back home before the hour he goes normally back home.
Yeah, he normally stays at the warehouse till about 6.
Did he take his guards with him?
Yes, he traveled with 2 people.
Did he lock any people in the building after he left?
No, it's still working hours.
Oh, wonderful. Well,
let's start by let's going and having a look.
Mr. Chang, when do the students get out of school?
Not till close to supper time.
All right. I'm sure we can have no trouble hiring someone else to do something if we pay them enough.
Note to self: in the future, just find a bunch of like angry people and tell them burn our problems away. Point them at us. point them at the cult house and just say burn it to the ground.
There's a reason people use angry mobs.
Yep, there is.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, and firebomb are not that expensive.
Not when he makes the alcohol himself in a tub in the back.
So what are you guys doing?
Do we want to go and take a look at the building?
Yes. We should. How are we going to get the employees out?
We're taking a look at the building. See if any opportunity arise. We're not burning it down right now.
Okay, I just thought we could look around easier if there weren't any employees there inside.
Yeah, right now is looking at the building from
Right.
outside.
I left the bourbon at the bar. I will bow to you now. I've channeled Luther as far as I'm going to. I now pass the mantle to you.
I just had coffee. I'm awake. That's all I got.
That's
Let's go through the building, see if there's an opportunity. We'll see from there.
okay.
All right. So as you approach the warehouse, yeah, it's a 2-story brick building, tile roof. It is starting to rain a little bit, and you can hear like the kind of the tick 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 of the rain on the tile roof. It's a long building. Like it has like 5 doors so that people can load and unload various cargoes at the same time. It is built right on the river, right on the Wangpu River. And you notice that there's a ship docked that is in the process of loading crates onto it. The ship is a 90-foot yacht, very well appointed.
It's called the Dark Mistress?
It is called the Dark Mistress.
Oh, look! And Evelyn will look at Dr. Carter. I think that's opportunity calling.
Oh my god.
And the crew that is loading it, they seem to be quite large, quite muscular, and walking with like an odd kind of lurch as they walk. And then one of them kind of turns and you see its face, and I need everybody to give me spot hidden rolls, we'll say, because they're a distance away.
The fact that you described them as its is,
Snake people.
oh god, I hope not. I've had
Something
enough
you did to make
people. They smell terrible.
What kind of roll did you want us to make?
Spot hidden.
Oh.
Get a spot hidden from Miles as well.
You bumped it for me?
Oh, critical failure.
No.
As per tradition, I don't understand people that I don't see shit.
All right. So, Alvin and Miles, these workers, as the head kind of turns, you can see that they have like very kind of like odd deep creases in the side of the neck. Their heads are kind of narrow, and their eyes seem to be kind of bulging and watery. And their profile, the nose is very flat. They have very long, thick lips. Sparse, like yellowish, scraggly beards. Looks almost like it's peeling. I'll get both of you to give me sanity rolls.
Can I disbelieve the illusion?
No. Only 1 point of sanity loss for Miles as you kind of like, the bile kind of rises up. Dr. Carter, though, with the botch on the spot hidden. You see this thing, and as it kind of turns, those creases on the neck kind of flare out, and you realize that those are gills.
Oh yeah, I was expecting fish people after the article.
And
Oh,
you lose 4 points of sanity.
I ease a bit. Oh,
And those of you who saw them, so Miles and Dr. Carter, because Alvin doesn't have any Cthulhu Mythos, can give me Cthulhu Mythos rolls.
Sorry about that. I just had to step away for 2 seconds. Did I miss anything? Other than Dr. Carter going,
Yeah, Dr. Carter kind of heaves a little. Miles kind of like, lets out an involuntary little, like, gulping sound. And now I'm getting Miles and Dr. Carter to give me Cthulhu Mythos rolls.
hello.
You don't know what they are, but they are definitely not human. And as these non-human creatures begin to load or continue to load things onto the Dark Mistress, we'll call it there for this session. They do not seem to have noticed you, so there is that.
Did I manage to roll the Cthulhu Mythos?
You got a 72.
Okay, good. Because for some reason I see a D4. That's all I see.
Huh. But I will open up development phase so people can see if their luck replenishes.
Chris, we still have no idea if it was succession or not, the attack.
Right.
No idea at all.
You have no idea.
Sorry, do we click recover luck points or development or sorry?
Yeah, recover luck.
Alvin has lots of sanity, but not a ton of luck.
Ooh, I got luck back.
Evelyn is all kinds of lucky, apparently.
Apparently.
Okay. Usually when people get to
Booze
that
makes
point
you
is
lucky.
when they make that roll where it's like, shit, I need to make this. I'll spend 70 luck. But yes,
I'll hit that point sometime.
That's how I got to like 11 lux because I needed to spend like 45 on a roll.
Was that the dynamite roll that you spent it on?
No, I could not spend it on it.
Yeah. So you don't know if the assault was successful or not, but you do know that something drew Hofang away. And other than that, there are some definitely non-human creatures. According to Dr. Carter and Miles and Alvin, Evelyn has not really been able to see them. Loading crates onto the Dark Mistress. But we will pick up next week, and we'll see where things go from there.
Who was it that noticed? Sorry, I'm just updating my notes.
Everybody but Evelyn saw them.
Oh, never mind.